last time on sailing Diablo.
I fell headfirst into the water and I started screaming because the current was pushing me out and the ladder wasn't down on the boat.
What are we doing?
We are sailing to Martinique.
We are. Well, looks like we have high teens, 20 knots again today. Typical. It's our typical Caribbean weather cruising, you know, close reaching or pretty hard on the wind today with the high teens, 20 knots. It's pretty good sailing. Double reef in the main right now, a single reef basically in the jib, maybe a double reef, I don't know. Basically 100% working jib is what we have out. So we have our 120% Genoa rolled up. And we are locking the helm anytime we head up into the wind because it does better than our autopilot. And Avery likes to huddle down on the cabin stool.
It's called the Avery Hole.
The Avery Hole.
Or the Avery Hotel.
The A-hole.
We are almost in Martinique. We're going pretty fast. Like 8 or 9 knots, 7s now. And we're gonna anchor in St. Pierre.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And what was in St. Pierre? Do you remember what St. Pierre is famous for?
The ruins.
Well, ruins because of
Volcanoes?
yeah.
Right.
In 1902, Mount Pelée erupted and wiped out the entire city. 30,000 people. Only 2 survivors, right?
Yeah, there's a prisoner named
Cyprus,
Cyprus.
who survived in one of the jail cells, and some other random guy, I forget who. Yeah. So we're gonna go there? Here we are anchored in St. Pierre, right in front of the church, which is pretty. And we ate lunch. If you look through the cat, there's a little beachfront restaurant. That's where we ate lunch yesterday, but we ate dinner. That was lunch dinner. The place was excellent. Best food I had since we left. Le Tamaya, which is right here on this main street, just a little farther down to the right.
On the other side of it.
Yeah, on the far side, not on the beach side. And
French.
oh, it was wonderful food. We had escargot, duck, mussels, baked mussels, and grouper, and it was
Saffron sauce.
all different flavors, and they were just
Ratatouille. We had pumpkin. We had
it was excellent food.
really good food. The couple that owns the place is really nice.
And then over here is Mount Pelée up in the clouds, which of course is famous for in 1902 destroying the city. The town dock there does get some ferry boats and bigger boats, so you don't want to block it. And a word of advice is to use a stern anchor on your dinghy, because the dinghies, your dinghy can get trapped underneath it, and then when the swell comes in, it bashes your dinghy up against the underside of the dock, because the dock is concrete and it sits about 2 feet off the water.
Or pull it up the French way.
Or they pull it up. That's what we've been doing actually. We just take the painter on the front of the dinghy and lift the front of the dinghy up onto the dock a little bit. There's that church. It's very nice here. The anchorage is pretty flat. There's not a lot of rolling. You don't have to pay somebody for your safety. You don't have to pay for mooring. You can anchor. It doesn't have...
Starfish under our boat.
Oh, and we went...
Snakes.
Lots of sea snakes, and way down to the south side of the anchorage is a yellow buoy, and that has like a big mermaid type
Art installation.
art carving into the rocks, and
Statue.
and it's pretty cool. Apparently the wrecks out here, there's a lot of wrecks. It shelves pretty quick, and yeah, there's a lot of wrecks, but the water shelves pretty quick, so the wrecks are in like 100 feet of water. You can't really snorkel them. I mean, that's back over here. You can see
those
there's
yellow
some
buoys are for dive sites on wrecks.
yellow buoys, and there's some moorings out there in 100 feet of water. But yeah, like I said, this diving. Mount Pele out there in the distance looks pretty nice today.
You can do a hike. It's challenging, I've heard.
And people have been very nice. We went to the market this morning. Ate hot. Whatever. It's right at the end of the dock, which is super convenient.
Market.
So yeah, an open air produce market's open every day.
Better prices, better selection.
So
better.
Apparently Saturday is the best day, but it's Friday, and the selection was fine. There was also fish there. There was tuna and whatnot. We didn't get the fresh fish, but everything looks great, and it's much cheaper here than it is in the non-French islands. The French islands, St. Martin still is the cheapest, but
I find the French islands are easier to cruise in. It's they have more amenities. You can
regulations are easy. You go to these kiosks and you don't have to go through customs and immigration. Really, you just type in this little form on a computer, hit print, and it's like between nothing and €5 generally.
It's
and
a donation. And you can get rid of your trash. They do have recycling in some of the islands. You don't have to pay for it. Everything is very convenient.
Yeah. So we've been we were very happy with Martinique. Yeah. It's beautiful here. Guadeloupe was wonderful. The Saints, part of Guadeloupe, really great. We definitely are going to come back and spend more time. So here we are in the midst of a regatta. There's a mark right there. One of the boats is just rounded. The lead boat is that boat there with the orange sail headed away, and then we have several boats here coming in. I'm not sure what regatta this is. The boats in it seem very traditionally rigged, so it'll be interesting to see. And there are just people everywhere. There we go, the second place boat.
No, I think the white sail is gonna be third.
Oh well, they're gonna get. We got a pass for third going on here. Really close. They're gonna. And well, the race continues. It's got a long way to go still. A nice breeze there. It's quite puffy in here in St. Pierre because of the mountains, and so the winds are pretty unpredictable. Oh, the yellow sail had to ease. They're overpowered. And here comes an orange sail from behind. Oh, the orange sail tacking.
The yellow and orange sails.
They hit. There's going to be penalties. There are people in the water. The white sail with the orange and green, they have people in the water. There is a collision.
Boats are coming out. Most of the boats have left.
Now, I don't know if these boats are in different classes. The one with the orange sail has a much smaller rig. And the yellowish green sail is about to round the mark. I think that's in 7th place. And maybe 8th, I'm not sure. And they're gonna go chase the leaders down and out of the bay to the north. And they're around. Oh, the black boat's got its speed. And now the other boat with the blue and yellow sail may have dirty air. Good racing here for third. So after the race ended, a bunch of boats came in to the anchorage here. And you can see, what were they called? Salty poles? Sea poles?
Very rude.
And people are just crazy here. So over here, over in this this catamaran over here with the green flag up, they sent out a couple jet skis with kids on, and one of the kids was, you know, they going straight at the catamaran and then waiting till the last minute to spin around and kind of, I don't know, spray the catamaran with water or whatever. Well, he got too close and he smashed into the side of the catamaran, and the passenger on back flew off.
Like,
And
Screaming,
it's just crazy.
screaming.
And then there's this press boat back there with the yellow flag. He anchored so close to the red boat, the red ketch behind us, that they actually dove his anchor and picked up his anchor and moved his boat
Away to
I wish
keep
we
because they
everybody
kept
safe.
having to fend off. So,
if we could do it to that boat,
oh, it's just become a cluster. We wanted to go. We were leaving to do laundry when these boats came in, and
never did.
we didn't get to do laundry today because of this. But there's no way, and I'm glad we stayed. If we would have left 30 minutes earlier,
Our boat would have been hit.
our
and they
boat
would
probably
have been
wouldn't
gone.
have. Yeah, no, I don't know what would have happened, but I'm glad we're here. Anyway,
Amateurs.
the race this morning was neat.
Beep, beep, beep.
The partiers, not so neat.
No, Mom said.
So it's Monday, and apparently the regatta is going to have a second day. And again, we have boats anchoring on us. There's this cat here. That cat just anchored there, although they're kind of far now. Boats swing around in here in all different directions, and well, we were trying to run errands and do laundry, which we didn't get done yesterday because that power boat anchored on top of us. We had to fend them off several times, and now I'm wondering if this cat is so close that we're gonna have to do the same. Ugh. And today's lead boat is approaching the mark here in St. Pierre. It is the red sail. I think they have a blue hull on this side and it's red on the other. I actually don't remember seeing them yesterday. There they go, speeding past the mark. There you go, 2nd, 3rd, 4th place. He's going over! So the black boat has bailed out, and it looks like they're putting their rig back up. So that's an interesting recovery method. They dump, they drop their rig, right the hull, bail it out, put the rig back up. So it looks like they have people in the water. Okay. So I guess to lighten the weight of the boat and stabilize it, it looks like they put their boards out on both sides and have people just hang off of them. Wow, it's a really cool technique to see how they right with these things in the open ocean. I hadn't noticed. The other boat over here has also gone through. And they are feverishly bailing out. The regatta party continues, and it's Monday evening. Got a bunch of boats anchored starting to in that red bar over there, beach bar. I think that's where the party is. You can see the ML with the dinghy up. Those are the people that we went to a science museum with the other night. Liz is tanning. Girls are eating.
Several days later.
Okay.
And these are mooses.
What's going on, guys?
We are in St. Lucia. We are just leaving Rodney Bay.
Fine, we have
We're going to the Pitons.
we have the wind behind us. We're going to the Pitons. We spent one night in Rodney Bay, and the marina there is pretty nice. This time of year, it does seem to be clearly off season for them, but
And it definitely feels safer than what people describe. So
yeah, we didn't feel unsafe at all. You know, we were told, oh, you can't lock your dinghy with a wire rope, you need a chain. Well, we pulled into the dinghy dock, half the dinghies weren't even locked up at all.
Yeah.
And Grand Anse was the second anchorage after St. Pierre that we went into. We didn't find great holding there. Yeah, lots of sea turtles. There's a nice little vacation spot for the locals, and it gave a really relaxed feel. So you did laundry in St. Pierre.
Yeah, it was nice.
And we did 3 loads, and it was $30 US for 3 loads.
It was closer to 30 euros, so a little bit more.
30 euro for 3 loads. So what do you think was the hardest part about cruising if it's not laundry?
For me would be the space and the cleanliness.
Never clean anything.
In this boat, it's just a packed boat, so if you want to get one shirt out and you have one tiny little drawer, you have to take everything out of the drawer to get that one shirt. So it's just space.
Yeah, I think I mentioned that before. We overpacked. A lot of stuff is overpacked in our boat, especially the amount of clothes, which is why we were able to do 3 loads of laundry and still had probably double that clean sitting in the boat. What do you girls think the hardest part of cruising is?
Sailing.
Sailing? Well, you guys don't feel good when it's rough and rocky.
I feel fine, but sometimes I feel a little bit off. People invade your space. Yes, that's totally true. We have a 41-foot boat, so everyone gets 10 feet and 3 inches.
That's not exactly how it works, huh? Well, yes, your bunks happen to have the main pantry area sitting right in between you guys in your kind of private area. So every time Mom and I want to cook food, we pretty much have to go into their aft cabin, and they yell at us because we don't ask. Well, You know, we're going in there to get dishes and food and
So
stuff.
still fast. And the thing is, on my side, we also have the water maker where you fill up the bottles, which takes a pretty long time.
That's true. Oh, well, maybe not every day, but close to it. We've been running the water maker, and yeah, we have to fill up the bottles near Avery's bunk. I think the hardest part about cruising has been getting along as a family.
And
We fight and you know, haven't been real nice to each other all the time, and that's the most frustrating part. Like the little breakdowns and stuff I think are pretty easy to deal with. What do you want to say?
Nothing.
That's always your answer. Avery,
Are we sailing to Denmark?
we are not sailing to Denmark currently, but we could someday.
Because I want to see Esther.
Yeah, you want to see Esther? Oh, it's radio. Okay.
To charter there.
So what do you like about chartering? Or chartering, cruising?
Well, you get to see new people and make new friends, but when you leave them, you kind of feel sad, but sometimes you don't leave them.
Yeah, well, we ran into some guy on a cat today that has 3 girls the same age as our kids, and so they're heading down to Grenada, and we'll meet up with them at some point. And word has it that Grenada is chock-a-block full of boats and kid boats and stuff. So we have been surprisingly alone, even though we're only like a little over 100 miles from Grenada right now. It's still clearly off season here, and there's not a lot of boats around, and I'm kind of surprised because, you know, if there was a hurricane coming, we are a 24-hour sail from Grenada. I mean, we would have 24 hours notice, more than that a hurricane was coming. So I feel like we're kind of already out of harm's way. We can be out of harm's way at a drop of a hat if we have to be. But so the plan is to head to Beckway tomorrow and then spend, I don't know, maybe a week or 2 in the Grenadines before we go into Grenada.
Same day.
So as far as provisioning in Rodney Bay, we did a little bit. There is a small market in the Marina Complex. The Marina Complex has restaurants, bars, cafes. You can do breakfast, lunch, dinner. Customs, immigration, the Port Authority is right in the IGY Marina?
IGY, yeah. Rodney
And
Bay.
there's a fuel dock that's like a local run one right when you go.
Isn't it Rebus?
Rebus, maybe it was Redis, right in the channel. Today they wouldn't sell us gas. I don't know if they were out. Then we went over to the IGY dock and they were out for lunch. So we failed to get gas, but that's all right. We'll get it in Beckway. So the ATM was broken at the bank. There is a bank right in the Marina Complex. If you walk north up the highway that runs right in front of the marina, there is a St. Lucia bank, Bank of St. Lucia. We walked up there, the ATMs are closed from 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. So just bear that in mind, we didn't know that.
That's where we got the money.
Johnson Hardware has a good marine section, has a lot of stuff. That's where we bought this lock for the dinghy engine. They didn't have dinghy engine specific locks like Island Waterworld did. Island Waterworld was a little bit more expensive. There's an Island Waterworld right in the Marina Complex. The Marina Complex feels very safe and it's a nice place. Probably not the cheapest place, but there is a small market in there, like a mini mart. It's not like a supermarket by any means. So right there in Rodney Bay, you can get pretty much anything you want. It is a nice little spot. It isn't that expensive. Anything to add about provisioning in Rodney Bay?
If you need boat work, there's also a ton of different places that you can have work done on your boat.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people in the West Indies will come down to St. Lucia just because it is so much cheaper, and that's kind of where they go. And there's tons of places to get stuff.
Yeah, I noticed there was a stainless steel shop, there was an outboard shop, there was an electronics shop, and then there was Island Waterworld. It looked like there was a laundromat. At least there was a bunch of washers and dryers sitting outside. And they have a pool and a bunch of bars and stuff. It is nice. It's nice in there. So, yeah. So I'm eating a passion fruit. Not something you get too much in the States. This is what they look like.
Those are the ripe ones.
These are the ripe ones. They're shriveled up. I think on the video when we were hiking through Dominica, we showed you the picking them off the vines.
Yeah,
And
those were not ripe.
they were not as ripe as these.
They have to be wrinkly.
Inside they have seeds that you can eat, and they're a little, here, take the camera. Here, I'll show you. It's kind of slimy, mushy, wet seeds, and tastes good.
Yeah, it's really sweet and tart at the same time.
Yep. So that's passion fruit. Good stuff. So we are sailing. There are the Pitons in St. Lucia. It's been a wonderful sail. Beam reaching in like 20 knots. Hi. We're just sitting on deck, chatting away. We are headed in between the Pitons. That is Petite Piton in the background. That's Gross Piton. And there's numerous moorings in here. I kind of expect somebody to come out and ask us for money and to handle the lines. We shall see. So we just picked up a mooring. A very official man came over with a park ranger boat, and it was 45, no, I'm sorry, it was 54 EC. And then the guy that helped grab our lines also sold us some necklaces, and so that ended up being another 55 EC, so it was 110 EC. And Chris Doyle's guide also said that the customs and immigration was 40 EC. We paid 140 EC. Now we came in on Emancipation Day, so maybe they charged me a fee for that, although they didn't tell me. You guys want to say your first impressions? Look at that Piton there.
From this side.
I like the necklace. It's very pretty.
Yeah? Why don't you show me the necklace?
Julia got the just white one with rainbow on the clip thing.
Which I'm wearing.
There, that mom's wearing Julia's, and you're wearing.
I wore a more colorful one
Got the
with
Rastafarian.
rainbows.
Yeah. And we are moored here between the two Pitons.
Wait,
Gross
what did
Piton
he say the beads were from? Looks like there's a resort.
Yeah.
These are just seeds, actually.
There's a resort up there. Poke the hole and
Yeah.
yeah, you're wearing mine.
Yeah, that's a pretty nice looking beach over there, and
Can we go to the beach tonight? I have to.
gonna do some cleanup here, put away the sail, and get ready for our sail tomorrow to Beckway.
Bye.
Next time on Sailing Diablo,